All right, guys, happy Labor Day. I know that the markets are closed. However, I just want to hop on here and talk markets with you guys. So, I have two stocks today. One I am personally invested in, and the other one my buddy has been really big on, and I've just kind of been, giving my input, my 2 cents in it. So, first of all, we're going to look at JD. JD is one that I have personally screened for and have bought calls on. I usually don't buy calls at all. I don't do any sort of buying strategy. It's usually only strict selling of options. However, for the case of JD, I am extremely bullish, and I'll tell you guys why. So not only when we drop onto the daily chart do we see a nice trend based on a simple trend line that I was able to draw, but jumping into the earnings and revenue is really where it gets crazy. So we're going to see some sort of quarterly recovery in the next couple quarters into next year. But, if we look at where we're supposed to report to where we're going to be, that's a huge CAGR. That's a huge increase. So, first of all, that's a nice little tailwind. Revenue is expected to go up. I do want to direct your attention to what PE JD is trading at, right? So if I search up, historical PE, we can see that this usually trades up in the 20s, with the exception of, okay, maybe we have this reading or whatnot. But, in recent times, JD has gotten all the way up to, 16, pretty much double what the PE is now. And, with this being said, even if the market wasn't going to appreciate in, the quarterly earnings or whatnot, the large CAGR that's supposed to be priced in going forward, even if the PE ratio doesn't change, there are still going to be numerator and denominator factors that are going to lead to the essentially appreciation of JD, even at its given PE, right, which is severely undervalued. It does pay a dividend yield as well, which is very impressive. If we just kind of look in to see that, nice little increasing dividend over the past 3 years, good percentage, right? I don't mind that for a tech company. That's actually very impressive. Analysts love it. Analysts are saying going up in the right direction. Again, just a tailwind, right? So I put my money where my mouth is, and I bought $30 13-month out calls. Those are sitting right around the 70 delta mark, and I'm actually selling covered calls on those calls. So it's essentially paying for a good percentage of the buying strategy. Next thing, QXO. I have helped advise for the fun of it, not actual advising, my buddy in adding to this position. He's really bullish because of Brad Jacobs, the CEO. Essentially, he is known for buying into companies and doing a ton of M&A and making that one the parent company. So it's just going to be onboarding a lot of, vertical markets, vertical companies in their field. And this is supposed to be the kind of master company. And he's done this with many companies in the past. Not really to go into it much. I want to see QXO more down so to $20. $20 and below, I would say. There's a large fair value gap here, right? Just off of this initial liquidity sweep from Wednesday the 6th. I didn't want to buy in here because we never confirmed that this trend was ending based on the fact we never pushed past that Fibonacci. But I'd like to see two things get hit. There are, these uncontested gaps here, right? There's been no price action there. I want to see maybe if it can get down to there, it'd be buy. Or even just adding here. He's already added some in the position, which is great. We're not at a full, sizing position yet. However, I really like this. And, just to recap with JD, I do want to look at historically how it's performed against the Chinese market itself. So HSI is essentially just S&P for China. We can see that we're kind of getting down towards the support. And is it going to wick? Maybe. If we get some sort of, pump here, that's going to be huge. Granted that we are here. That's nice. We still have a long way to go. There's little tiny points of price action, but not too much I can see. And if you go JD divided by FXI, which is the Chinese large cap ETF, you can see a little bit more here that we're getting down to levels such as here. That could be worth a buy. But yeah, JD is a large cap company. as it is a $43 billion company. So I would say absolutely, this looks great. And overall, the market is trending, right? So I think that we are seeing a lot of, underappreciation for JD itself. So thus, I would like to be getting in. And I think it's going to be a great play going forward, especially the fact that the option max pain is pretty much positive at any expiration you check, right? Put to call ratio is awesome. But with that being said, we'll catch you next time and follow for more.